Hello, I am Ines from ToleratedCinematics.com, and today I'll be showing you how to create some fire in Adobe After Effects with the plugin called Particular. So that's from Trapcode. If you don't have it, you'll need to buy it. It's not for free, but if you have it, we can get started on this tutorial. So I'm going to show you how to create a fire that's looking pretty much like this over here. So let's have a look. So this is my fire over here. So yeah, let's get started. Create a new composition, and well, before we start, I will also show you how it's looking at without some real footage. So on a black background, this is how it looks like. I'm gonna get it to full resolution, and I'm gonna delete these. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so this is the fire, how it looks like. It's pretty realistic without real footage, but if you put it on real footage, of course, people are going to know that it's not real fire. So maybe try to use it in introductions, some motion graphics, and you might use it in real life footage, but as something else. So like a special power that you have. It doesn't have to be fire. It can be a special power fire. So let's get started. Create a new composition. And I'm going for the 720p and the 24 frame rate, and let's make it 10 seconds long because it doesn't need to get longer. Fire base, I'm gonna call it like that, and hit OK. And then I'm going to create a new layer, a new solid, and call it background. Choose a black background and hit OK. And then again, new layer, solid, did again. And I'm going to pick a nice orange red color, so we get to see it in our layers right over here that it's going to be the fire. And I'm going to rename it to Fire Particular. Okay, and now I'm going to add a particular, so I'm going to effect Trapcode Particular. Okay, once you've done that, open up the emitters box, change it to box, and well, the rest is pretty good. We're going to change the particles per second later on, because else it's going to be really slow in the rendering. So we're going to drag this timeline to the left, so it's already been born. And then we're going to make it longer to the comp size. And then again, go to the particles over here. I'm going to take a life of 1.5 and life random 25. Sphere feather 75, and size I'm going to set it to 2, but you can keep it at 5, but the smaller you go, the more particles you will need and the longer it will take to render out. So it's all up to you. Size over life and opacity over life, both ramp like this. And then we're going to close the particles tab, open up the physics. And over here we're going to get the gravity to -1000, so it's going upwards, just like this over here, as you can see. And then maybe you want to reposition it right over here so you can see it a little bit better. Maybe add a little bit more particles so you get a nice idea of what we're going to create. But later on we'll move it, we'll bump this up over here. So maybe a smaller amount of life. So again, to particles, and maybe let's change it to 1.1. Just I'm going to take 1. It's pretty cool. Okay, so then I'm going to open up the rendering and the depth of field. I'm sorry, motion blur. Yeah. Okay, I'm a little bit confused. I'm sorry. Okay, so then open up the options for motion blur and check this on instead of comp settings. Else it's only going to change it if you click on this one and this one. Which we want only the particles over here to be motion blurred and not the rest of our comp. So this will do fine, and maybe change the shutter angle to 500. Okay, so once you've done that, close this. We don't need it anymore, and we're going to open up the physics, air, and turbulence field, I guess. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. I'm going to open that, and then the effect position, affected like 250, something like that. And well, we might need some more live again, so 1.3 will do good. Okay. Then what we want to do now is add a nice blur. So go to effects and blurs, blurs and sharpen, and add a fast blur. Change it to 5 blurriness, and then we're going to add some color correction, colorama, and we're gonna do this later on. Check this off for the moment. I forgot one thing over here. The offset Y. You want to all click on the offset Y and enter times -500. And what's that gonna do? It's going to animate the effect position. So as we're gonna look right now. For a preview, I'm gonna pause this video and come back once it's a nice preview. Okay, so it's only 1 second long, but we'll check what we have already. So that's pretty cool. Maybe you want to make add some more velocity. Something like, no, 250 is way too much. Let's say 150. Okay, that's looking pretty cool. And now we want to add a colorama. So check this effect back on, and the input phase will be alpha. And then we're going to close this input phase and go into the output cycle. And then we're going to change it to a preset fire. And now what you want to do is just mess around with these colors a little bit until you get a realistic look. I'm going to keep this one for now. And I'm going to bump up the particles per second for this preview. So I'm going to take 50,000. The more particles you will get here, the longer it will take to render out, but the more particles you will have, and the smaller your particles are, the more realistic it's gonna look. So yeah, also the complexity over here, maybe you want to bump this up to 6. Okay. And then we're gonna going back to effect, stylize, and add some glow over here. So to get that realism, 80% and 80% also at the threshold. So something like this should be working fine. Okay, so as you can see over here, you have your we have our glow on the fire. So that's basically on how to create this fire in particular. What you can do now is add an real footage, so something like I filmed before. I also added some color correction for the realism, and also some flickering, all that great stuff. Just change the blend mode to add or screen. It's all up to you, and just make sure you have a dark scene that's been lit up, and that you color correct afterwards in After Effects. So maybe add a tint effect and stuff like that. So I'm not going to make this tutorial too long, because it's only about how to create a fire. Maybe you want to add some optical flares if you have optical flares. It's from videocopilot.net. If you don't, it's all you also have to pay for it, so it's not for free. Let's add some optical flares so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm going to delete this footage because yeah. Click on the optical flares, solids, and go to effects, video copilot, and optical flares. So optical flares. Come on. It's going pretty slow because I'm also recording right now. Okay, optical flares. There we go. And I'm going to use a preset that I created myself and maybe make this streak a little bit smaller. Let's say scale 16. Okay. And change the color to something orange red-ish. Yeah. Okay, and then just reposition it into the fire. How I tracked it on my hand is, well, I did it by hand really quick right now in the preview, but what you can do is get the position of this and the position of the particles right over here. So press U on the keyboard. Well, create a new keyframe just so you can get it on the timeline as well, and then just all click on the position of the optical flares. So all click over here, and then just pick with the position of the particles. And I did it wrong. I have to click on a position, not on the particles per second. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit distracted here. Okay, so just pick with the right here onto the particles. Press U on the keyboard again. Oh my god. Okay. Do it one more time. Okay, I'm sorry. And now if you move around your particles, the optical flare is also going to move with it. So I'm going to move it right over here. It's going to move with it. and it's really slow, my computer. Okay, so maybe change the resolution to half to get it and the workflow a little bit better. So when you are creating it, make sure you have it to quarter, maybe even. So it's going to be really a lot faster, but quality won't be as good. So once you want to see a preview, just click on full, and once you're working, click on quarter. It saves me a lot of time, quarter. Also, be sure to save it on time, because I had a crash last week on a big project and I didn't save a thing. So it's also it's always handy to save your work. And yeah, I'm a little bit tired, so I'm really sorry about me being confused. But be sure to subscribe to my channel and check out my other tutorials where I'm not confused. And check out my website, thoriedcinematics.com. I also have my portfolio on there, so if you want to check out what I'm doing and from motion graphics and visual effects, you can check them on there. Also, if you have any questions, PM me or go to the forum of my website, and maybe the community can help you out. So yeah, thanks for watching, and goodbye.